A beautiful morning it is, and we welcome you to VOP this morning on Voice of the People Television. Now, it's the fourth day in the month of September, so we're counting down already, counting down to October 1st. A lot of things have been, pushed towards October 1st. A lot of things, really. We'll wait to see how things pan out. I am Moses Humphrey.
And I am Chukwuma Okoro. Good morning.
All right, and now welcome once again to the show. Now, let's quickly take you into our lineup for today. All right. Nigerian police name David Hundeyin Alade as PDOM, Nigeria's accomplices, declare them wanted. We also have another story that we'll be delving into.
That's the FCCP, that's the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, has vowed to protect Nigerian consumers, even as the Presidential Tax Committee molds a VAT increase to 10%.
All right, so these are the conversations on our table today. Remember to click on the subscribe button on YouTube. That's at Voice of the People TV. That's how we appear on YouTube. And click on the notification button as well and be part of the conversation that we're having right here. We're waiting to hear from you, of course. All right, so keep those conversations coming in. We have numbers on your screen with which you can communicate with us, and let us know what you think about the topics we're sharing this morning. Now, without wasting further time, before we get into the newspaper headlines, a few things have been happening. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC Limited, reportedly increased its petrol price from 670 naira per litre to 897 naira per litre, which is a 45% hike, following its disclosure of over $6 billion indebtedness due to fuel cost, importation cost. However, the company's chief communications officer, Olufemi Shoneye, claimed to be unaware of any of such price increase. While the new pricing, which was reflected at NNPC stations in Abuja and Lagos and some other parts of the country as well, had been hinted at earlier through an unconfirmed social media message. Well, on the heels of that, what came as cherry news to Nigerians is the fact that Dangote Refinery has begun production of gasoline, basically premium motor spirit, petrol. And this promises to come to Nigerians at the heels of NNPC being unable to import fuel. Well, is this good news, really, for Nigerians? Is it should Nigerians be jubilant? Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that Dangote has started production of PMS. It's long awaited, 28 years in the waiting. Nigerians have waited for so long to have a refinery within the shores of Nigeria produce PMS. And Dangote Refinery has come to the rescue of Nigerians. But as it stands now, NNPC will remain its sole buyer. And with NNPC still dictating prices, I ask myself, are we going to see a significant reduction in the pump price of petrol within the country? To aid Nigeria to take away the issue of landing cost and and those other things associated with the sale of crude to Dangote Refinery, the president gave a directive earlier that the refinery should receive crude in naira, and the implication of that is when it buys crude in naira, produces, it sells back to the marketers, NNPCL and other marketers in naira, which takes away landing cost and other things, and that might have a significant impact on the pump price. But will that be the case? Will there be a significant impact? That's the question I'm throwing out there. Oh well, what do you think, really?
Moses, honestly, at this point, I don't even know what to think. In the first place, spokesperson of the NNPCL, Mr. Olufemi Shoneye, yesterday in the evening debunked the increase in the price of fuel. He said it is not true. It's untrue that NNPC has not increased the price of fuel. Meanwhile, at NNPC filling stations, immediately the thing was put out.
There was
A reflection of
Yes.
that price in their pumps all over Nigeria, especially in Abuja and Lagos. And it is difficult for Nigerians to clearly believe Mr. Shoneye and NNPCL, because within 3 months, he said and unsaid 3 different things at 3 different times. First, he said NNPCL was not owing $6.8 billion to their suppliers. After 2 weeks, he had to recant. He said, sorry, NNPCL is owing suppliers $6.8 billion.
one start to
And
wonder.
again, there has been this back and forth between the Dangote refinery and getting feedstock from the NNPCL. Moses, by the way, it is good news that finally Dangote refinery has rolled out. You know, they said in 48 hours they are going to flood Nigeria with petrol and all of that.
Yes.
But it's a little bit worrying too that NNPCL has come out to say we will be the sole buyers
Yes.
of Dangote's fuel products. So where does that leave us? We have OVL, which has taken over the distribution arm of
the retail arm of
the retail
NNPCL.
arm of NNPCL. Now, we see an NNPCL coming to say, sorry, we will be the sole buyers of Dangote's fuel. What it means is that 2 companies have clearly created an oligopoly, away from a monopoly, within the industry, fixing price as they wish. And we have an FCCPC
that is talking about regulation of
regulating
prices.
So where does that leave us? And the vice president of Dangote Refinery, Mr. Devakuma Edwin, said something yesterday that got me worried. You know, he said, if NNPCL or if Nigeria doesn't buy our fuel, we will
They'll
export.
export, yes.
So, and this is NNPCL coming to say we are going to buy. So it looks as if there is something that we don't know. Meanwhile, Moses, the prices of transport fares have increased automatically between yesterday and this morning. The fuel queues have not even disappeared,
Fuel queues have not disappeared.
and the black market sector of the fuel industry is still thriving.
We talk a lot about Abuja and Lagos as being areas where these things, where we see fuel queues, we see prices where things happen. Well, I was driving around Calabar yesterday, some streets in Calabar yesterday. Filling stations were shut. Filling stations were completely shut. I drove past more than 7 filling stations, and they were all shut. And then the conversation on the street was that there was no fuel. In fact, in some places, black market was being sold for about 1,700 naira a litre.
Yes, even
At the black
that
market.
yesterday, even before the price was rolled out, the price increase was rolled out, fuel was selling at 1,405 naira in some
Lagos.
areas, in Lagos and in some parts of the southwest. You know, the thing about fuel pricing is that once it starts somewhere, especially Lagos or Abuja, it cascades down to other parts of the country.
There's another troubling trend. I had to call somebody to get fuel. I came into Lagos last night and I had to get fuel because I knew that I have to be out this morning. And I started going around to get fuel. Called a friend that works with a filling station to see if I could get something. And I was told that, look, they stopped selling earlier in the day and they were going to start selling again later at night. They were going to start selling by 7 p.m. And I asked, do you expect people to come and queue? If you're selling from 7 p.m., when do you intend to close? Said they will sell till about 10 p.m. And they're not selling into jerry cans. Now, some people had their cars, stranded somewhere. They had to they wanted to buy in jerry cans to take to their cars. Some homes need to be powered. Some businesses need to be powered. Now, they refused to sell to individuals in jerry cans, but then they were selling to black marketers in jerry cans. So I see a situation whereby we are replicating what's been happening in the banking sector, where you go into the banking halls, you can't get cash, but then right outside the banking hall, a POS operator is giving you cash. Means.
Moses, it could be called round tripping, you know. It could be called round tripping in some sense. And Nigerians have a way of obeying the law when it suits their fancy. You know, the NNPCL there's a ban on dispensing fuel in jerry cans. You know, so and
But they find a way to do it.
But they will find a way to do it, just across the filling station. You know, so Nigerians are adept at obeying the law when it suits their fancies. Oh, it's okay. But they say we should not sell in jerry cans. Meanwhile, people need to power
Selective obedience.
Selective obedience, yes, and even selective rejection of laws and policies.
Oh, well, that's not the only conversation that's been trending. Also, yesterday, Governor Siminalayi Ufubara of Rivers State cautioned police officers against engaging in partisan politics, warning that prioritizing political interest over professional duties could have negative consequences. While speaking during the handover of 100 operational vehicles to the Rivers State Police Command in Port Harcourt, Fubara emphasized that the police should focus on protecting lives and property and maintaining peace without bias. His remarks come amid ongoing political tension in the state, particularly the power struggle between himself and former governor Nyesom Wike, which has caused division within the state's political landscape. Well, I don't think this shouldn't actually be trending if we're in a normal environment. The police do. He is the chief executive, chief executive officer of the state, the chief security officer, as it were, of the state. But unfortunately, we operate a situation whereby the governor doesn't even have powers over the security architecture in his own state. Now he has resorted to appealing to security agencies not to be politically driven, but they are politically driven. Unfortunately, so civil servants are politically driven, regardless of the fact that the laws prevents them from being politically driven. But unfortunately, that's how it is. And
Moses, I'm not sure that in this sense you say that policemen are politically driven. They could be driven
politically biased.
No, not even political. They could be driven by institutional constraints. And I like the fact that you use the word that is the chief security officer, so to say, But because in actual sense, he is not. And Mr. Fubara knows exactly why he's saying this. But I'm happy that in the midst of all this, he's doling out 100 vehicles to the police. He is the one playing politics here. Because the activities of the police, the police that will have it now is a federal agency, domiciled in states. And so he's at liberty, to aid them in their duties by giving out 100 vehicles. But the man clearly knows that he is not in charge of the security of Rivers State. When it comes to policing, when it comes to DSS, when it comes to the military, because clearly the commissioner of police can tell him, let me get orders from my IG. And he gets stuck. That's unfortunate. And he said, like in normal environment, I don't share the idea with you that our environment is abnormal. We are trying our best. We are trying our best as Nigerians. What we just do is ask our people in government, ask Nigerians to act responsibly. Because that is the only way our environment can become more normal than it is.
So it's abnormal. It's slightly abnormal.
No, it's normal, but we want to get it to be more normal than
it is.
If there's anything like that.
Okay. Well, before we run out of time, let's look at the papers. Let's look at stories that made it to the cover pages of the dailies. Quickly, going to the Guardian newspaper. The banner headline here reads, "Confusion over new pump price as Dangote Petrol sets for market." When you go further down, you have suspected secessionists bomb Anambra Police Division. Court sends whistleblower to Kuje over classified documents leak. 2027, Obi unveils Tanko as coordinator of Obedient Movement. Falana false treason charges against protesters. Beyond direct cash transfer to 4.3 million Nigerians. That's an editorial. PDP governors fought Wike's fire threat. Nigeria, now third most indebted nation to World Bank's IDA with $2.2 billion loan. And then the bottom strip there, subscribers stranded as NIMSI server downtime slows SIM-NIN updates. All right, these are the headlines from the cover page of The Guardian newspaper.
And from The Guardian newspaper, we'll move over to the Punch newspaper. And the banner headline with the kicker, petrol price hike, labor demands reversal, set to meet. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And the writer reads, marketers await Dangote refinery pricing template as NNPCL emerges sole buyer. There's a pictorial there. I think it's about the Dangote refinery. And you have the picture there. It's Aliko himself, Aliko Dangote, you know. And on his right hand is the vice president of Dangote refineries, Mr. Devakuma Edwin, and the group managing director of Dangote refinery, Fatima Aliko Dangote. And on top of the masthead, you have hunger protests. Police quiz staff of wanted return. Hunger protest. Police quiz staff of wanted return. PDP governors knock Wike, say Fubara, Rivers party leader. PDP governors knock Wike, say Fubara is Rivers party leader. And power generation hits 5,313 megawatts. First time in 3 years. That's a piece of good news.
Oh, yes.
A piece of good news. And the bottom strip headline reads, fleeing buttock enlargement doctor now in custody. That's according to the Lagos police spokesman, Mr. Hundeyin. And the last but not the least, 34 Yobe villagers killed by Boko Haram get mass burial. And that will be all from the Punch newspaper.
All right, then. So let's go quickly into Daily Independent now. Banner headline here, elation as Dangote assures on flooding markets with petrol in 24 hours. Says refinery will show Nigeria's true petrol consumption. Assures no more importation of polypropylene from October. NNPCL to be responsible for controlling petrol pump price. Dangote to produce 25 million liters of PMS in September. NMDPRA. Refinery, historic economic liberation for Nigerians. Otedola. On top of the nameplate, PDP governors berate Wike, describe threat as unbridled, irresponsible, and call on security chiefs to take note of Wike's threat. Say position to support Fubara can't be reviewed by individuals. And then FG insists on curbing exploitative practices, not price regulation. All right. Okay, so that's as it concerns the FCCPC. Okay. Police apprehend hacker who breaches national security. Childless comment on Obaseki's Edo women protest. Seek apology from Oshomole. Right beside that one, we have Shatima, Obi, Atiku, Abbas. Others attend Yaradua's mother's burial. Nigeria lost a Colossus, iconic woman in Dada Yaradua, Tinubu. And then gunmen bomb police station, kill one in Anambra, unfortunately. Despite denial, NNPC stations sell petrol at 897 naira a litre. Others, 950 naira a litre. Well, I bought for 1,100 naira a litre in Lagos. In Lagos. Just around the Keja. So it's not like you. Anyway, we'll get into that conversation much later. The sub-riders to that one, increasing fuel price betrayal of Nigerian workers. Ajero says Labour may reactivate strike, protest nationwide. All right. Well, okay. Monarchs conniving with illegal miners, EFCC reveals. So these are the headlines from the Daily Independent.
And from the Daily Trust,
Yes.
we have NLC, Nasima, orders demand petrol price hike reversal. That's the banner headline. With the rider, increase will hurt businesses, worsen inflation. Citizens urge government to reconsider. Dangote Refinery rolls out PMS, silent on cost. And the window headline reads, Shetima, Atiku, Barau, Obi, others strong Katsina for Yar'Adua's mother's burial. Emir Sanusi profiles solution to Fulani crisis in Nigeria. Nigeria, China signed MOU as Tinubu meets Xi Jinping. There's a pictorial there. I think it's about the condolence visit by Atiku and Shetim Kashima, Nigeria's vice president, to the Yar'Adua family, I think during the burial. And beside that, you have provide solutions to power crisis. NERC tells Discourse. We are in Sokoto to eliminate bandits, according to the Minister of State for Finance, Mr. Bello Matawale. End bad governance protest. Court issues arrest warrant against Brayson orders. And the Burns downstream reads, Yobe buries 34 victims of ISWAP. I'll check that again. Yobe buries 34 victims of ISWAP attack. And the rider reads, terrorists give reason for killing. General Akilu recommends IBB security strategies to tackle banditry, kidnapping. And that will be all from the Daily Trust newspaper.
All right, I guess that's pretty much all we can take at this moment. We'll get into the analysis of some of these, giving you our own point of view to these headlines when we go into the newspaper review at 9 o'clock, from 9 till 10, actually. We'll take a break now. When we come back from this break, we'll be looking at one of our major talking points this morning, the allegation of cybercrime. Nigerian police name David Hundeyi Alade as accomplices to PDOM Nigeria, who already is in detention. Let's have this conversation when we come back from this break.